one of the reasons I do these daily video journals is so that I can process. And I do them in a way that seems like I'm talking to someone else, like I'm talking to a person. And there's never a guarantee that any of this will ever end up anywhere where anybody will ever hear it. Because it's a lot. Some days I sit here and I talk to myself for an hour. I never even say anything worth saying, but it helps me to process what I'm feeling. It helps me to process what I'm going through, or what I'm experiencing in the world as an autistic person. Uh Processing the world is a challenge. There's a lot going on. There's noise all the time, and something always smells, and something is always too bright, and there's always a light somewhere, and there's always a sound and a smell and a feeling, and there's always something to process. And so creating these videos has been a way for me to process everything. Because no, I don't generally sit down and talk about how this sweater is sometimes a little itchy on a bad day. No. I don't talk about the superficial stuff because I don't really care about the superficial stuff. That's all just sensory input. It's just stuff that is trying to take the place of stuff that matters, in my opinion. Am I right about that? I don't know. But for me, and in my world, in my experience, in my opinion, physical overwhelm is it's just my nervous system trying to stop any more significant overwhelm. Like it's just trying to distract me from whatever else might be going on. I don't know if that makes any sense. Doesn't have to. Doesn't have to. This is about me. So I sit here and I talk to the camera, to the mic, to YouTube, maybe. There's never a guarantee it's ever gonna go on YouTube, is the thing. I never sit down and go, this is for YouTube. Or I shouldn't say never. I very rarely do that because typically I just sit down and I talk and I wait to find, and I cut it. I cut a lot of stuff out, stupid stuff, long gaps, while I'm just sitting here thinking in front of a camera, not sure what to say. And of course, it's almost always edited because I focus mostly on short videos. I do have a couple of long forms. This one might be a long form if I post it. I don't know if I'll post it. It feels like it's going to be kind of a mess. But I might. I might because sometimes that's exactly what you guys need. I mean, sometimes that's exactly what our world needs is we need to allow people to make mistakes. We need to allow imperfection because we don't know the story. We don't know the story behind what's going on. We don't know how far these imperfect people have come. I am a completely different person now than I was 10 years ago or even 20 years ago. I mean, obviously, if it was I'm a completely different person than I was. And I've been through a lot. I don't know if it's all been that interesting. It's been pretty traumatic, some of it. But it's not a competition. I don't hold myself in higher esteem because I've been through more struggles or something, or because my struggles were somehow more profound, or whatever people assume these days is being said about trauma. I do this because I really need to work on accepting myself as I am. I need to stop uh expecting myself to be somewhere that I know. And see, this is what you're gonna hear some of my crazy, because here's the thing is I need to accept it while simultaneously knowing that I woulda, coulda, shoulda done better, and under different circumstances, had my life gone differently, I probably would be in a very different place. And sometimes I struggle with mourning the loss of something that could have been but never was, which is absolutely probably the most absurd. It's way more absurd than asking people to live and let live. Let me tell you, it's way more absurd to mourn the loss of something that never was, uh, than to ask people to live and let live. So you guys want to tell me I'm absurd? Tell me I'm absurd for that, because how do you mourn the loss of something that never was? Um, but it's kind of easy when you can see your own potential, when you know your own value, and yet your life doesn't line up with that, and you can't really pinpoint why.